Welcome to the Crypto Sphere. This is Cryptogenic coming at you. It is right now about 8 a.m. on Saturday, March 18th here in Northern California. And we're going to jump right into these crypto charts to get an update on what is happening in the market. As we all know, we're coming to the end of the week. We've got a nice, solid, green, bullish candle on the week for Bitcoin and the crypto market in general. We're going to talk about the Bitcoin chart. We're also going to talk about the altcoin market, the total crypto market cap, Bitcoin dominance, and what the next week could bring for the altcoins in relationship to Bitcoin. So let's jump right into these charts here and take a look and see where we are. As we can see on this weekly Bitcoin chart, this nice green bullish engulfing candle looks beautiful, does it not? We have broken solidly above the 200-week moving average. And I've said in yesterday's video that if we close this candle, which will close in 1 day and 9 hours, above this 200-week moving average, that is very bullish for the short to mid term. If we close above that candle, I expect next week we could get a retest of this line here at about 25,220. And then from this line, we take off towards this target of about 33,000. Okay, so the reason why we would need a retest of this line is because if we look at the daily, it's moving into the overbought position. And so when you see the RSI start to hit overbought or oversold, it simply means it's going to need to rest a while in order to build momentum, in order to be able to move to the next level. We see this same thing here on the 4-hour chart, that the momentum topped out in the RSI on March 14th. It is now March 18th. So for the last 4 days, we've been getting bearish divergence and diminishing returns on this move. So all we're saying is that the bulls are getting exhausted here. And what we might need to see here in the short term is a revisitation of this line here. Of course, if we break down from here, the measured objective would be 23,000, but we don't have to break down from there. Basically, we could kind of move down here slowly while the RSI rests and then get a breakout here. That could definitely happen. We see this on the 1-hour chart as well, although the bearish divergence is even more pronounced on the 1-hour chart than the 4-hour chart, which means in the short term, the bulls are even more exhausted on the 1-hour chart. We can see kind of zooming in on the exhaustion of this bullish move on the 1-hour chart. We can see it pretty clearly. Of course, if we were to break down from this, the measured objectives, first support would be 24,325, second support 22,611. So really, we're just looking to see, is this candle going to survive, or is it going to break down in the next? I mean, of course, it could break down next week too. It doesn't have to break down before this candle closes, but most likely, if this candle closes above this line, we could see a nice solid move. And, we could see, like we saw over here, we could see a wick, pushing down beneath this line, but coming back above it and closing above it, as we saw when we broke above this line here. We maintained support. We wicked down beneath it for a moment, but bounced right back up above it. So that's what I see happening. Now, this is a corrective pattern if you look at it. And actually, we've got bearish divergence in the RSI that goes all the way back to, it's a 1-hour chart. So that's still March 14th. So just like we saw on the 4-hour chart, the momentum peaked on March 14th. See that 4-hour chart, momentum peaked on March 14th. And we've been getting diminishing returns ever since. So we just need to watch the Bitcoin chart to see, how far this is going to go. Looking at the total crypto market cap chart, it looks nice and bullish here. We've got a nice break above this descending narrowing wedge, which means the market has been winding up. The way that I chart these breakouts here is, if you look at the total depth of this wedge, and then we could kind of see, actually, I would probably do it this way. Yep, it's the same. It's the same depth. So 160% would be would be my measured objective, my ultimate measured objective, if we're able to stay above this trend. And that would take us to about $2.5 trillion. Okay. So, I mean, you know, for all intents and purposes, that could be the start of the next bull run. I mean, when we bottomed out here in the RSI over here and simultaneously bottomed out in the price and then started getting bullish divergence here in the RSI, we hit that bottom, that double bottom here, and just kind of hugged that same bottom line. And while the RSI was moving up, and now we got a breakout above that level of resistance in the RSI and a corresponding breakout above that level of resistance in the price, that could mean that the new bull run is indeed upon us and all of the bottoms are in. Okay? So I don't want to be the guy who keeps screaming the sky is falling. I have my thesis, and my thesis is that the bottom is not in, but I could be completely wrong. And the reason that my thesis is that the bottom is not in is because here at this bottom, there was no money. Right? I'm looking for the big money to buy at the bottom, and I just don't see the big money buying in at a premium. I mean, buying in at a markup. The big money wants to buy in at the bottom, not at the markup. So, keeping that in mind, I'll call what I see, and here, this is very bullish. We've broken above the 200-week moving average, and this is very bullish. And if we stay above the 200-week moving average, this is very bullish. I'm going to call that because that is clear, but I'm also going to be cautious simply because of what I see in the volume. Looking at the total crypto market cap, excluding Bitcoin, in other words, the altcoin market cap, it looks much the same, except we're hitting this level of resistance here. So we broke out early, and now we're getting resistance here at this line. However, if we chart the depth of this wedge, that's 198%. So my ultimate measured objective would take us up to about $1.5 trillion for the altcoin market cap. So if we get a breakout in the altcoin market, that means a corresponding breakdown of Bitcoin dominance. Okay? So Bitcoin dominance is printing a long bear flag, and this indicates the coming of as much as an 18% decrease, which would give the alts a chance to run. Okay? And when I charted this before, I said, however, we might see, where is that? We might see a 10% increase before that dump comes. And so that increase was from, I don't even remember when I made this chart, but basically I said we could come back and test the top of this line with Bitcoin dominance before that breakdown comes. And it looks like that's what's happening here. But if we zoom into the Bitcoin dominance chart on the daily, what I'm seeing is that we're in a fairly narrow ascending narrowing wedge. The bearish divergence on the RSI goes back to March 14th. So March 14th, Bitcoin dominance hit its peak in terms of momentum, and now we're getting diminishing returns. That's what an ascending narrowing wedge is basically diminishing returns, and it's a soon incoming breakdown. However, the breakdown from this wedge, and if we zoom out, it could take us down to 44%, and 44% is basically just back to this line here. So that's, this does not speak of any major breakdown in Bitcoin dominance, but this would be, let's say we come and test the top of this line and then break all the way down to that line. You're talking about a 7% drop in Bitcoin dominance, and a 7% drop in Bitcoin dominance is good for the altcoin market. It's a nice little pump for the altcoin market. So what we could see is Bitcoin slowing down and the altcoin market getting a little bit of a chance to pump. a little bit. So that would be good. So, folks, we could literally see, just looking at these charts, if this keeps moving, we could see a move towards 33,000 in the coming few weeks. And that would be very, very positive for the crypto market. So I'm going to be keeping an eye out on this. I'll keep you updated. But remember that this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. I'm simply giving you my perspective. But if you enjoyed this comment, please hit that like button. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already for more technical analysis and insights on the market. Leave me a comment letting me know what you think, please. Check out my Patreon if you're interested. Got 2 levels. The $9 level and the premium level is $19. And that provides you with all of my trading calls as well as all of my charts. And a weekly weekly question and answer Zoom meeting for premium members at $19. Nobody gives you that. Nobody gives you that. So check that out if you will. But above all, make it your aim to sleep in peace every night, wake in joy every morning, and walk in love every day. This is Cryptogenic signing out.